This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather, hello there. It's Geoff CUtastrophe. Welcome to another sports catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy for today, February the 1st, is a NHL icon. Not because he's one of the best players of all time, but because where he came from. He's 52 years old. He was born today, February 1st, 1972. And he played for many teams in his NHL career. In total, he played for 8 teams. Known for being part of the Hartford Whalers and the Carolina Blue Jackets. Columbus Blue Jackets, I should say. This man's amazing. His name is Geoff Sanderson. Now you're thinking, why are you doing one on Geoff Sanderson? Well, it's mostly based on the fact where he comes from. There's a lot of hockey players from like Ontario, Quebec, Western Canada, and some from the Maritimes. But this guy was huge because he came from Hay River, Northwest Territories. That's right, Hay River, Northwest Territories. If you look at a map of Canada, up north you'll see territories, Yukon, Northwest Territories, and Nunavut. He comes from the Northwest Territories, and they're not really known for their hockey players. So that's where he came from. He was accomplished in the Western Hockey League, and then Hartford drafted him 36th overall in the 1990 NHL draft. So he looked good, and he was a prospect. He got onto the 91 Hartford Whalers roster when they went to the playoffs. And after Boston beat Hartford in the first round, he went to the AHL affiliate Springfield and helped them win the Calder Cup, which is the AHL championship. Then Sanderson would be granted a chance to play full-time for the Whalers. Geoff Sanderson scored a key playoff goal in Game 7 against the Habs in the first round to tie the game at 2, but that was the game when Russ Courtnall won in double overtime. Sanderson would put up 30 goals a year for the next 5 years, well, except for the lockout shortened 95 season. But he was just basically huge for Hartford and all that. He stayed with Hartford throughout Hartford's move from Connecticut to Carolina to become the Hurricanes. So anyway, he was there. However, halfway through the 1998 season, Carolina dumped him off to Vancouver. And then Vancouver dumped him off to Buffalo a little while later. He had a tough time. Well, he wore number 80 for Buffalo. But with Buffalo in the 98 season, he got to enjoy a playoff run as the Sabres beat the Flyers and Habs in the first round. And Sanderson actually scored an overtime goal in Game 1 against the Habs, giving the Sabres that series lead. But anyway, the Sabres would face Washington in the conference finals and get axed in 6 games. Sanderson would play the third line for the 99 team and got to the conference finals. But this time, Sanderson got to play in the Stanley Cup finals as Buffalo took care of the Leafs in 5 games and all that. Sanderson did score a pair of goals in that conference finals, which was huge and all that. Sanderson scored a goal in Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals against Dallas, helping Buffalo eventually win the game to tie the series at 2, but Dallas would win the next 2 games. So Sanderson would fall in the final. But he was given a chance by Columbus in the expansion draft to play for them and wouldn't disappoint, scoring a pair of 30-goal seasons with Columbus. But Vancouver wanted him at the trade deadline in 2004 and picked him up. He would score 1 goal in the Canucks' first-round loss to the Flames, but that was it. Columbus would reclaim him off waivers and wouldn't play too much. He would only be given 2 games before being traded to Phoenix. But he scored 25 goals in 75 games, so he was looking good. But then the Flyers gave him a 2-year deal, so he went there. Sanderson would have a disappointing year, and then he was traded alongside Yoni Pickinen to Edmonton for Joffrey Lupul and Jason Smith. Sanderson would put up 700 points in his NHL career and made him the most successful hockey player to come from the Northwest Territories. Sanderson would accept a coaching and scouting role within the Islanders organization to begin 2010. But in the second season, he opted to step away. So he actually forms and owns an oil and gas rental equipment company, which is pretty good. So anyway, yeah, a few players born in the Northwest Territories and all that. So anyway, he would relocate to St. Albert, Alberta to play in the Western League. Geoff currently resides in Calgary with his wife and 3 sons, but one son is in the NHL. Jake Sanderson, who was 85 for Ottawa, is the son of Geoff Sanderson. So anyway, in all his time with Hartford, Carolina, Vancouver, Buffalo, Columbus, Phoenix, Philly, and Edmonton, he put up 355 goals, 345 assists, 700 points exactly in 1,104 NHL games, 19 points in 55 postseason appearances, including a finals appearance in 1999. But Geoff Sanderson gutted it out. He was part of the Swift Current team that won the Memorial Cup in 1989. 3 years after that bus crash decimated the city. And he was just pure good. He was gold for the Northwest Territories. And gold is sometimes found in places like the Northwest Territories. But, it's a weird analogy, but take it as it is. Anyhow, I'm Geoff. I'm going to do.